There is a tendency in Indian pop culture to demonify cities. Cities are considered as places which pollute minds, strip people of humanity, and is completely alien to life forms. In this scenario, it was really surprising to come across a book which has a fresh look on urban life while discussing trees in urban environment. Hi, this is Gautam, and for this episode, we will be looking at the book Cities and Canopies, written by Harini Nagendra and Seema Mundoli. The book's success lies in the fact that it is not a biodata of trees. Cities and Canopies tries to capture most, if not all, the aspects of trees in an urban environment. It is just not treating trees as only about environmental factor, but trees having historical, cultural, and more social relevance. The chapters in the book work like a collage, more of a kaleidoscope, where with every chapter different surprises get thrown. For example, let's take the chapter on the neem tree. Like neem, we know it's more of an important a tree for several uses. So when we talk about the neem tree, rather than the botanical characteristics of description, it is addressed in terms of more cultural relevance, more historical relevance. And the author also laments the fact that when it comes to trees in the urban environment, over a period of time, we have really lost the association of their usage. Like, over a period of time, what happens is certain trees are associated only with certain aspects. For example, neem, maybe for medicinal purposes, but when it comes to cooking or when it comes to the flowers or fruits or the branches, certain things just disappear over time. There is also this mention of loss of traditional games and traditional food which is associated with trees in cities. For example, when the author quoted playing with the feathery seed of the silk cotton tree, it would definitely make you feel nostalgic. I'm pretty much sure that everyone who lived in cities at least played it with once, not allowing that cotton seed to not fall on the ground. One other aspect which was taken up quite sincerely in this book was the concept of what exactly is a native tree and when does it properly become exotic and when is it considered as threatened. So regarding that, the author did not really try to pass judgments but tried more of an earnest discussion. Like historically, why did we have so many trees coming in? For example, different kingdoms tried to introduce different species, and especially during the British colonial time period, the Britishers tried to implement plantations from different parts of the world and they brought it to India. So how exactly have they really adapted? Now, at the same time, the discussion is also about trees which have become very much part and parcel of Indian cities, but technically they are not really original, or they are not proper Indian origin. For example, after reading the book, I was really surprised that tamarind really doesn't belong to India. It's from parts of Africa. You take coconut, the state of Kerala derives its name from coconut, but technically coconut seems to have originated from Malaysia. So point is, even if trees were not part of Indian subcontinents, like even if they've come early, they did really adapt to the environment properly. But certain trees, for example, the chapter on eucalyptus was really eye-opening, where the author tries to address both parts of the discussion. Eucalyptus can be a water guzzler. At the same time, it has this phenomenon of allelopathy where it does not allow other species to go around the tree. It releases toxins. The leaves which are shed releases toxins, and that actually prevents the origin and the development of other organisms around the eucalyptus. Now, at the same time, eucalyptus firewood is important for migrants and the homeless. So both the aspects are properly addressed. That's what I really, appreciated, that rather than being judgmental, understanding the variation of trees in different urban environments. And I was personally surprised to know that good number of places in Chennai are actually named after trees. See, it's not that you're not aware, but even if you are aware of it, when you hear the name of the place, you really wouldn't make that particular connection. So I just like to read a section on that. Here it goes. For example, the names of localities in many cities also give us an indication of the fact that groves that once stood there. In Chennai, we have Pidathop. Pidathop is derived from this word Padathopu. Jackfruit orchard. Mambalam. Mambalam is mango fruits. Vepperi. Vepperi from Vepam. Vepam means neem. Tenampete. Tenam. Tengai. Coconuts. Panayur. Palm village. Alandur. Alamaram. Alamaram is banyan in Tamil. So, thing is, these places you frequently hear about in Chennai, but you really don't make the connection. This clearly indicates that trees have always been part of urban environment and they've actually supported cities for a very long time. The biggest success of the book is that once you finish the book, when you walk along the street or you cycle or you ride a bike, you will just pause for a second and try to pay attention to that green neighbor who has been always been there. So that's the success of the book. So if you like the video, do like, comment and subscribe, and I strongly recommend that you get this book, because I'm pretty sure if you're watching the video, you are living in a city, and it is better to educate ourselves regarding our green companions. So that's it for today. Meet you with the next video soon regarding the Kerala book list. Bye.